Welcome back, gentlemen, to another pour of, how we do, Grit on the Rocks podcast, where our conversations are strong, straight, and built to light a fire under your ambitions. I'm your host, David, and today we're talking about a struggle. Yeah, I said it. A struggle. A lot of men don't say it out loud, but every man who's serious about leveling up has felt it in one way or another.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
Yeah, we are here. So first, I want to start by saying happy birthday to Grit on the Rocks podcast. Yes, it's already been officially a year since the world was introduced to Grit on the Rocks podcast. And I wanted to say thank you to all who listen to every episode on the podcast platforms, or those of you who watch us on YouTube or Rumble. Sincerely, I gotta say thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you haven't done so, now would be a great time for you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop us some comments. Also, I want to ask for you to please share the show so that we can, keep growing this community. So, why is it so damn hard for men to make new friends? When we're trying to cut ties with the old and, toxic ones. You know the story, right? You decide you've had enough of the guys who only call you when they need something. The boys stuck in the same loop, the drinking and the gossiping and complaining, but never building. You tell yourself you're going to step into a higher circle. Yeah, that's what you tell yourself. But when you look around, the road feels kind of empty. Making new friends as a man, is like trying to order whiskey at a tequila bar. It feels out of place. It feels uncomfortable, unnatural, even awkward, right?
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
So, today, we're going to break down sort of why it happens, right? What's really going on under the surface, and how you can actually build a circle of people who challenge you, sharpen you, and help you rise. Because let's be honest, your circle is either pulling you forward or dragging you back. It's up to you, right? Which one you choose. So pour your glass something nice. Unless it's daytime and you're at work, but you know what I mean. Settle in and let's get into it. Because here's the first truth. Men aren't taught how to make friends as adults. As boys, right, you have school, sports, maybe the neighborhood crew, kids you grew up with. But once you go into like your 20s and 30s, 40s, life shifts, right? You might move to a new area, should have work, you might have a family, and now you have responsibilities, and all these things kind of crowd the stage. And suddenly, friendship takes effort. It doesn't come as easy as it once did. And when you decide to level up, when you cut the toxic guys out, the lazy ones, the negative ones, the ones who hate to see you win, you're left with space. And that space can feel lonely. But here's the kicker, my friends. Loneliness doesn't mean you're failing. It's the natural cost of growth. Every man who's climbed from one level to the next has walked through that valley where it felt like he was alone. And granted, yes, you do have those who just choose to be alone, those who just, hermits, super mega introverts, and just don't want to have friends or don't want to be surrounded by people. But there are those of us that do want it, and it's just challenging for us. So why does it feel so hard? First of all, that's what she said. But in all seriousness, let's break it down. Here we go, my little list of 4 things. Number 1 could be ego. Men might feel like I shouldn't have to be the first one to reach out. But truth be told, if everyone felt that way, then there would be no friendships among men at all. Number 2 is men hate rejection. I guess everybody hates rejection, right? But we're talking to men at this episode. Asking another man to hang out feels too close to vulnerability. What if he says no? What if I look needy? It comes off kind of weird, right? So what do? We just stay quiet. Number 3 is trust. When you've been burned by fake friends or drained by toxic ones, you guard your circle like Fort Knox. Opening the door to new people feels kind of risky. So in order to avoid risk, I just rather do things alone. That's how many think. Number 4 can be environment. Most men aren't in spaces designed for authentic connection. Places like bars, gyms, workplaces, they can be surface level. A real friendship requires deeper conversations, like those you might have at a lounge. And most men don't create the space for that. And I also have to add that when we get into the mindset of protecting ourselves from deceit or betrayal, we tend to give friendship a higher meaning, and we don't just call anyone a friend. We kind of develop higher standards to who we consider a friend. We might know people, we might be friendly with people, we might be cool with people. But there's like these certain standards that we develop in order to be able to call a person a true friend. And that's all part of just keeping our guard up. So here's what most men miss. When you're leveling up, it's not just about finding new friends. It's about becoming the kind of man that the right friends are drawn to. If you want men in your circle, right? High performing, high achieving men. Men who are ambitious, disciplined, and loyal, you've got to embody that first. And that's what most of us aren't willing to do. Because energy attracts energy. That's a reality. Weak men hang out with weak men. And strong men gravitate towards other strong men. And this goes in business, entrepreneur-minded men will gravitate towards entrepreneur-minded men or businessmen. You know what I mean? So instead of just searching for better friends, we got to focus on being a man who commands better friendships. Okay, so let's take a quick break. And when we get back, we'll continue with the struggles of men trying to make new friendships.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the Guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild, or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
All right, and we are back. And we're discussing the struggles men have with making new friends. But before we continue, let's take a quick session of whiskey bar wisdom.
Whiskey bar wisdom. Ooh.
All right, there's nothing magical about it. Here, drink this. Tell me what's on your mind. Come on.
Whiskey bar wisdom. You provide the stories, we provide the opinions, unprofessional advice and the laughter. Great on the Rocks podcast.
Okay, and this was sent to us through gritontheRocks.com, through our Contact Us section, and it comes from Richard Lawson from Charleston, South Carolina. And he writes, the subject, a lesson my grandfather's pocket watch. A lesson from my grandfather's pocket watch. Says, hi David, my name's Richard Lawson and I'm writing to you from Charleston, South Carolina. I've been tuning into Grit on the Rocks for a while now, and I've got a story I think belongs in your Whiskey Bar Wisdom segment. When I was a teenager, I used to help my grandfather on his small farm every summer. One day, I found an old pocket watch he kept in his desk. It didn't work. It had a cracked glass face and the hands were stuck at 12:17. I asked him why he still kept it, and he told me something that stuck with me. Son, the watch doesn't tell me the time anymore, but it reminds me not to waste it. At the time, I brushed it off. I was young, chasing girls, wasting weekends, and thinking life had endless tomorrows. But now, in my 40s, with bills, kids, and gray hair sneaking in, I understand exactly what he meant. Every hour I waste is one I'll never get back. So now, whenever I catch myself mindlessly scrolling or putting off something important, I remember that broken watch. I don't want to look back and realize my time stopped before my life really started. Hope this fits the show, and if it does, raise a glass to my grandfather, Henry Lawson, a simple man with farm rough hands, but wisdom deeper than any book. Appreciate what you're doing. Keep the episodes coming. Richard Lawson. Wow. First of all, Richard, I got to say, thank you for that story. I mean, let me tell you, your grandfather was onto something with that broken watch. Most of us are walking around like we've got time to waste. We live like tomorrows are guaranteed. And that's not the reality. We treat our time like loose change in the couch cushions instead of realizing it's the rarest currency we've got. Once it's spent, you don't get a refund. It's the only asset that whatever part of it you lose, my friend, you cannot get back. And I like what he said, right? The watch doesn't tell me the time anymore, but it reminds me not to waste it. Richard, that is a mic drop right there. That's a whole life lesson hidden in a busted piece of metal. So here's the truth, gentlemen and ladies who listen. Life's not about how much time you get. It's about what you do with the time you've got. And if we're being real, most of us don't need more hours in the day. We just need to stop giving our best hours to nonsense. Stop wasting time arguing with people who don't matter. Stop scrolling through drama that won't matter next week. Stop saying, I'll do it tomorrow, when tomorrow is not even promised. And Richard, next time you take a sip of a glass of rye while listening to this show, raise one to your grandfather for us. That man was wise. He didn't just keep time. He taught you how to respect it. And that's whiskey bar wisdom if I've ever heard it. So, all right, let's continue here. Let's look at how to actually build the right circle. Here's a short list, right? Here's the playbook. Number 1 could be put yourself in the right rooms, networking events, mentorship groups, faith communities, entrepreneurship circles, places where ambition lives. Number 2, lead with value, not need. Don't show up desperate. Show up ready to give, to contribute, to uplift. That's how bonds are built. Now, granted, sometimes you come ready to give and contribute, but the other person is not interested. And possibly they just want to gossip, or these low IQ convos are the only thing that fuels them. So read the room, my friends, because in that case, you might be in the wrong room. Number 3, have real conversations. Ask about goals, struggles, legacy. Skip the surface level small talk. Men respect depth. This ties back to number 2, right? Deep convos are so important, especially when you're seeking growth. Some people might not be interested, as we said. So that's your cue to keep moving. Number 4, you need to be consistent. One-time interactions don't build trust. Follow up, show up, and keep showing up. Here's the hard truth. Leveling up your circle is going to feel uncomfortable. Trust me, I've been on this mission for a while now. You're going to have awkward conversations. You might sit in a room where you feel out of place, maybe even small. But that's the point. If you're the biggest man in the room, you're in the wrong room. Stop chasing comfort. Start chasing growth. Because 5 years from now, you won't remember the times you spent building by yourself. But you will remember the people you found who pushed you, challenged you, and helped you step into the man you were meant to be. The truth is, if you want a sharper circle, sharpen yourself first. The right tribe isn't found, it's attracted. Let that sink in, my friends. Gentlemen, friendships for men aren't just casual, they're survival. The right circle can build empires, the wrong one can bury you. So as you sip your last pour today or tonight, or when you're listening to this, I want you to ask yourself, who do I need to walk away from, and who do I need to start searching for? This has been Grit on the Rocks podcast, where men come for clarity, courage, and a strong conversation. I am David, reminding you, don't just pour another drink. Pour into your circle, and it will pour back into you. So until next time, keep your spirits high, your glasses full, your cigars lit, and your conversations meaningful.
Cricked on the rocks tonight, met with hearts like iron bars, tackling life's endless fight.